still got it. I 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 still got it. This a little trash talk with some faith. Old head out of shape. Jordan with the fadeaway. Steph with the trade. I still got it. 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 I still got it.
What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?
What's happening?
We are here. This is a brand new podcast, and it's called I Still Got It. Mm-hmm. I'm your boy Pope, aka According to Pope, P-O-P-E. I'm here with my man Jarvis Jones Films and my brother Free Will.
Yes, sir.
So we're starting this podcast off, something we've been wanting to do for a little minute, and we wanted to bring it to y'all. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. And so out the gate, we're going to start off every episode with a top 5. It could be top 5 in restaurants, food, rap, other genres of music, whatever. So today's top 5 is going to be top 5 careers or athletes whose career was cut short, whether it be by injury or they walked away from the game. So I'm going to go with Jarvis, kick this thing off and tell me your top 5 players that were left too soon or career was short.
Yeah. All right. So I'm riding with probably one of my top favorite player of all time was Grant Hill. It's just impact, just to see what he would have done, what he could have been. You know what I'm saying? That would have been awesome to see. Penny, same way. Thought that was just, unfortunate with his injuries as well. Who walked away, and to this day it's the one if. Barry Sanders, man. Barry Sanders, 3 for me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of 3.
You got 3 of mine.
And well, I would love to see what he would have came out to be. I think he would have been good, especially around for the era that he came in. Is what's his name? Greg Oden. Greg Oden. I think he would have been.
That's a sleeper.
Yeah, like I ain't saying he's Shaq, but he would have been.
Right.
I think health wise, he would have been dominant. Mm-hmm. And I got one more.
One more.
I mean, myself, man. I mean, no telling what I would have been.
Man.
If I was about 5 inches taller,
right.
100 pounds lighter, no telling what I would have been.
You are the definition of the show.
Definitely.
I still got it.
I still got it. Come on.
For sure. What you got, Will?
Yeah, that's a good list. Shoot, got a bunch of mine. Somebody you didn't mention, Calvin Johnson.
Man,
gotta go Calvin Johnson.
That's my whole list.
I got one more in case y'all don't get them, but go ahead.
I think he left the game too early.
Yeah.
Penny, of course. Barry Sanders, Oden. I had him also. But this is one that I think he retired too soon, and it was because of injury. But Yao Ming.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yao Ming.
That's definitely a good one.
I think y'all had some good years left in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What you got?
I'm gonna go with I had Grant, because for me, so I'm a Kobe Bryant guy, but if it hadn't been for Grant getting hurt, it might not have been a Kobe Bryant guy. Grant was that guy to me. So I got Grant Hill, I got Penny.
Y'all love Grant Hill.
I do, bro.
Jeez, overrated.
We're gonna do
This how we're gonna start a whole podcast.
Y'all keep bringing up Grant Hill like he just the best thing since sliced bread.
The best,
and I think he retired at like 38.
But he
I'm not talking about man.
He wasn't that. He was
that Grant.
Look, he wasn't that
know
great.
that.
He would rather retire as a role player.
He ain't better than Pippen.
Oh, don't let me. So
that's all I'm gonna say. He ain't better than Pippen.
Hey, I used to be the host of this show. I'm out. I'm done. So I got Grant. I got Penny. I got D Rose.
Ooh.
Now he still played, similar to Grant, but I'm talking about that prime MVP D Rose without the injuries.
Yeah.
He'd have been crazy. And then my other two was going to be Calvin Johnson, because he walked away.
Yeah.
and then Barry Sanders. So something about Detroit, something in the water out there that just make you walk away from the sport. We don't want to play no more.
Flint. Flint water.
I'm telling you, it can't be right.
Another one I think we all slept on.
Who you got?
Bo Jackson, cuz. Bo Jackson would have,
Yes, sir.
man, no telling
Yeah.
what that would have been.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's a good one.
that'll be mine.
Definitely.
So I picked this top five because of a story that came out about a gentleman named Khari Willis, right?
Okay.
So Khari Willis is a cornerback, defensive back for the Indianapolis Colts. And so he recently retired right before the beginning of his 4th year in the NFL to pursue his faith. It was, he felt God was calling him to ministry, and so he decided to retire. He's only 26 years old. Like I said, he wasn't a superstar as of yet, but he was going to be starting this year according to reports. And he just felt that he should leave the sport in his prime because the ministry was more important to him. He felt a unction of the Holy Spirit, so to speak, to go and follow ministry. Now, over his 3-year career that he did play, he made about $3 million or so, and he was due another 2.6 in the final year of his rookie deal this year.
Wow.
So my question, just to start the conversation, is, have you ever felt that passionate about anything to walk away from that kind of money? Like, just off top, that'd be the first thing I would think of. Like, and I'm saying he wasn't making tens of millions, but
Yeah.
2.6 ain't nothing to sleep at.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, I mean, he said with careful prayer and consideration, he did it.
That's a lot of prayer.
That's a lot of prayer.
That's a lot of prayer.
It depends on what his situation is, and heard a couple other little stuff on his background, but nothing. Have I had anything that's so passionate that I can walk away? Well, I'm trying to put myself, a guy who haven't made that much money yet. I couldn't see myself doing it right now, as of today. But I can respect where he come from. But then again, I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's something else you could have did. Could have went another route with it, bro. But I'll leave it at that.
All right. Yeah, I can't necessarily say I can relate, but I do respect it. I wish,
Right.
I wish I had it in me, but it's definitely something that you gotta respect. And like we was kind of talking a little earlier, Jarvis, just like in the music industry, like the music that I do is really faith based. But if you hear it, you won't think of it to
Right
be
off.
traditional.
Right.
But I've never was like really compelled to go like full like secular. So I think even if if somebody threw a bag at me, like to be like, yo, we want you to go over here, but you gotta, use this type of lyrical content. I don't know if I can make that move. I don't know if just something in me. I don't know if God gonna give me that release. So maybe I can relate a little, but
Right.
I ain't nobody threw the bag at me yet.
Yeah.
So if y'all out there, hey, test me. Let's
Right.
see.
No, that's tough, man. Like I said, a young dude, 26, he in the prime of his career. It made me think of Maya Moore too.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was some faith stuff, but then it was like some prison reform stuff that she was compelled to do it, and so they was comparing her, like she's like the female Jordan and different things, top of her game, winning championships and everything. Yeah, went to UConn, so what they produce out of there.
Yeah.
And she left. I respect it, absolutely, no question. I respect it. That's a tough decision, bro, because you got to think about it. He's 26. He's probably been playing football 20 years.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just to get to that spot, you finally achieve it. And then now you've got past, like now you went from a player on a team, you got your position, your place, but you about to be one of the starters.
Yeah.
So you finna be the top 22 on your team.
Yeah.
And you coming in, that's the 4th year, so that's free agent year after this one. He ball out, then he could get even a bigger bag.
Yeah.
The 2.6 just the end of the rookie bag. So, man, that's some type of compelling argument, man. I don't know if I got it in me. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I agree with y'all.
Yeah.
I would like to say, I would, but only thing I don't understand when I hear guys or women, whoever, athletes leave a sport for a faith-based purpose or a calling, is that you train all year round, but your season is only a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Are you incapable of doing those missions and those different things in the off season? Like, I don't know if he's married, but he does have twin boys who are about 3 years old. But can you not, commit yourself to that mission, that purpose that God's called you for in between time? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got off weeks, you got Monday through Friday, you gonna practice and you got a lot of free time that you can't do. Do you have to quit your job to do it? You know what I mean?
And I think that's the fight. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like people would see that, like, you see it on the bigger scale that way. But anytime people feel that calling to go to ministry, one, they always feel like is I'm not saying he feels this way, but I feel like I have to be in the pulpit. You know what I'm saying? Or so now I can't be in the pulpit every Sunday because I play on Sundays.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So now I have this religious battle that I'm fighting to be like, man, I need to please God, I'm choosing the world over God. I'm like, no, not necessarily, bro. You got a bigger platform here. You know what I'm saying? And kind of going back to music for a second though, Will.
Yeah.
And we can kind of look at it this way too. Is I remember when Molly Music, from what I heard from the beginning of him, just more like praise and worship, that neo soul feelish.
Yeah.
I know y'all got that same type of vibe in y'all music, but then he signed a bigger with a bigger label.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it didn't change him necessarily. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He didn't yell Jesus on every single track, but at the same time, I didn't hear him lose himself.
Right.
Now all of a sudden I gotta, rap about the big booty girl.
Right.
You know what I'm
Still
saying?
Molly.
He was still Molly. You know what I'm saying?
There's
So
a balance, right?
and I think that comes with maybe, I don't know if it's maturing in your faith or something like that. But I mean, I'll let you speak more to that because it's more in your lane of that. So how you feel about that?
I agree. I think it's a balance. Like like you said with Molly, it was still kind of consistent and on brand with with what we had known him to be. But I don't know his situation if some opportunities he had to turn down because he felt like it was there was some compromise, but I think like for me, like that's what it would be about. Like if I feel like I would have to compromise in order to do this, then that would be a decision that I would have to make, but that's a great connection. Would y'all say that Cap's situation is similar? Because Cap, he left the game of football for something that he felt strongly about. Like, is that the same? When you compare Khari?
I got a unique opinion about Cap. At least I say it's unique.
Okay.
I think Cap stepped in the water and didn't realize how deep it was.
Yeah.
In the beginning. That's my personal opinion. I believe he was moved by something, had pure intentions of like, I just want to bring some attention to it. I got a big platform. You know what I'm saying? I'm a starting quarterback in the NFL. It's only 32 of these gigs. Somebody will see me do this. I can bring some attention in the presser or whatever. I don't think he thought he was going to lose his job. I don't think he thought that. I could be wrong. I personally think he put his toe in the water, thought it was about 3 feet deep, and he was in the ocean and didn't realize it. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's quite the same situation. Just because now if I'm wrong, and Cap knew off top, like, hey, there's some deep waters I got about. Then it is similar. But I think he personally, like, I want to do a good thing, want to do something for the culture, make sure, hey, we drawing attention to this, happening too much. But he didn't realize how deep the waters was gonna go. I don't think he thought he was gonna lose his dream over it. So I think it's slightly different, but still, we'll see, because I'm not saying he could potentially have a change of heart like Cap. He could in a year or two, like, yo, I want to go play again, man. Like I did what, I ain't done this and that's cool or whatever. Maybe I fulfilled the calling, whatever I was called to do. But man, this is my whole livelihood. I played this on my whole life and wanted to go back.
Right.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean, like, and it's different based on. So for instance, he do have 2 young kids, but he's already made a few $1 million, right? He seemed like a fairly intelligent young dude. I probably took care of his money and everything. Would he be the same if he only made $100,000 a year?
No.
You know what I mean? Would you say, hey, all right, I'm gonna go pursue ministry full time, but I'm not already set up, so to speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His first 3 years allowed him to potentially be set up. So if he good to go, like, yeah, it may be a little different than you was used to getting, but you prepared yourself for this. But if you in that $80,000 to $100,000 mark, which you still, you know what I mean? I always wonder about somebody's conviction when is it convenient or is it a true, like, man, I'm against it, and God, you want me to do this right now?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the next meal coming, and you want me to go from this 9 to 5 that I'm barely making it on, and then go and just not even have that as a safety net, so to speak, and just go full into ministry. You know what I mean? That would be my question. Would he still have felt this way? And like I said, we don't know this guy. You know what I'm saying? And we don't even know fully, like you said, Jarvis, if it is some type of mission, if it is out of the pulpit, starting a church. Yeah. From everything I done looked up, he just used the term ministry. Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure what he feel like he's called to do in this moment, but having a $3 million cushion helped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That helps to start at least.
And I think, and the reason why I'm harping more on is it a religious, and I'm using that term loosely. You know what I'm saying? Was it a religious call versus, God-given call to make this move? Mm-hmm. I don't know if y'all remember this this singer, man. He just had this song called "I Like That." I cannot think his name right off the bat, but it was like early 2000s. Like, it was around that Chingy.
I think I know you talking.
You know what I'm talking
I
about?
think so.
So anyway, I think he ended up getting into the faith.
Okay.
And heard the scripture, if your eye offends you, poke it out.
Oh, wow.
And my man went
that.
and poked it out.
So my man went Fetty Wap.
My man went Fetty Wap, bro. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But to him, that's what I read. That was, my faith led me to this. And he bleeding out.
Come on,
and poked his eye out because of the lifestyle he lived. All the women around him, X, Y, and Z. So it was his interpretation of the scripture. And I'm like, and I'm not saying these are two, but I mean they're on the same path. Far as, all right, what made you go this route? Like what is the determining factor? And we'll never know. You know what I'm saying? Well, I ain't gonna say never know, because I let him know right now. He bro, you have an opportunity to come on this podcast, and I would love to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? That we can have a good conversation about it. But yeah, man,
Definitely.
So you made a point earlier about Molly, right? Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this, and like I said, I guess it's more towards you, but we all chime in on it. So Molly is a solo artist, right? So he had a brand that he started off on, Jack in the Box and all this, early stuff, right? He had a lane he was in. And so he signed with a bigger, and he didn't necessarily lose himself. But let's say the larger label say, hey man, look, for exposure, we want you to come and do background for Artist X. Now Artist X content is nowhere near what your content is. It's almost a 180. However, you're not the face of it now. This artist.
Yeah.
We just want you to do background. I want you to see how the road work, blah, blah, blah. Whatever they try to kick to him as the reasoning. You know what I mean? We'll help you secure your bag before you start your, whatever the case may be. Does that change the ministry part of it? If it's like, well, it ain't my stuff. It ain't, Sex in the Sheets by Molly Music.
Yeah.
It's by artist X.
Yeah.
I just say background on tour. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just doing a couple doo-wops and ooh babies. So, but that's the song that you're singing.
Yeah.
Right, so I would ask you as an artist, like, how would you feel if they saying like, this ain't your stuff. We don't want to change who Will is. Mm-hmm. We want you to back up somebody else, but they are left to what you're doing.
All right, man. I feel like as an artist, as a creative, ultimately your conviction is going to be like based on like how you see it. Like, and for me, my conviction is going to be based on like how God gave it to me. Mm-hmm. Like, so the vision of how, with me being an artist, as a, developing a career, mm-hmm. like whether it's my stage name, Free Will, like, why did he give me that? Like, and I feel like that has been like my true north of always getting back to that point. Like, yo, why did I do it? Like, when you first gave me this vision, this dream, did I see that I would be on tour with Snoop at Rolling Loud?
Yeah.
And so if that ain't how it came to me, right. That could be uncomfortable, mm-hmm. But I definitely don't think it's, like, for me, like, it wouldn't be a decision where I could just like, nah, that ain't me. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll probably pray about it. Mm-hmm. I'll talk to my pastor about it. Mm-hmm. Like, I would consider it because I want to see if God is in it, right? Before I just dismiss it. But I think with Khari, like in this day and age, Khari, I'm sorry, in this day and age, like conviction is something that is. It doesn't really, it's not popular. Yeah. We just do things to do it. Mm-hmm. Like, and we don't do it out of a conviction, out of a passion. So, what you think?
I think, even looking at it from a scripture perspective, like, those disciples weren't poor dudes, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I had thriving businesses, you know what I'm saying? And to the point where then I call you away from it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what the whole full 3 years was about. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they sold of course they was on the boat at some point. So they at least kept the boat again. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like they sold everything and just, beggar buns. But
hey, man, keep a couple of them assets for you. They're going to be a little traveler.
So when you look at it, man, it's like they're called from this passed down business. Some of them, my father part of this business, you know what I'm saying? And now they go following this dude that I just met. Mm-hmm. Something special about him, but I just met you, bro. And for at least for Peter that we know of, he at least he had a wife. I'm uprooting my whole business. Right. You know what I'm saying? To go ahead and follow you. Right. That speaks volumes too. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like. It's something in it when you do make that call to, you know what I'm saying, go that route. But then it's like boy. But then you look at somebody who God could have used to stay over there and just really bring more fame to it. Because you're going back to Cap for a minute. Mm-hmm. If Cap was to did the exact same thing, not on the football field, but just, hey, after he got done, he went to a protest. Mm-hmm. It ain't making no noise. It was the fact that you was on this platform, this stage, and that's what, boom, brought all of this attention to this specific thing. You know what I'm saying? And so when you look at it from that perspective, I'm like, bruh, you could be more effective. I'm not telling him to take a knee or nothing like that, but what would have been like if, God is using you in that way, and now all of a sudden you start a movement that whatever that could look like. So, but I don't know, man.
So a couple other things as you were saying, y'all was talking, come to mind, like with bro leaving and then even the Cap situation. Mm-hmm. So when Cap left, no disrespect to Cap, that wasn't like the Super Bowl Cap. He was a little bit removed from that. I know he had some injuries and things of that nature between the time of the knee when he started taking the knees and then those Super Bowl runs with the 49ers. If this was Super Bowl Cap or this was maybe Patrick Mahomes, do you think his career would have been done? Like, could he have protested in the manner he protested and still had his job? And what I mean is, if you poll most people, you would consider Mahomes a top 5 player. Yeah. At the least a top 10, but definitely top 5 in the most important position on the field. If bro was to if he had been the one, like if it was in this time frame where he's top 5 and he was taking a knee, would he have lost his job? And also, or in the Khari situation, Khari Willis, would you leave your no disrespect to him also. Yeah. He's a good player. He's not the top tier player. He's not a Pro Bowler. He's not a named guy in the league. If he's that type of guy, does that make it harder to leave? Like, I respect his decision because for me, I've never personally been faced with it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you guys have been faced with those types of situations. You have to make a decision based off, your faith. I've been tested in ways of stuff I believe, just my moral compass, but not questioning a faith situation. Like, what my conviction of it is. So I don't know where I would stand, but I think that makes a difference too, where your position is in things. There's one thing to, which is still hard to say, throw away $3 million. Yeah. There's another one you're throwing away $100 million.
Yeah. I mean, we have seen instances of it. I mean, Muhammad Ali was on the top of his game.
Shout out to Ali.
He was at the top of his game, bro. Like
25
in my prime,
and the champ.
But his conviction said, I don't care what y'all do, bro. I ain't fighting that war. I'm finna, just go and put him in jail. I'll ride it out, whatever the case may be. So his conviction was a little different. A lot of people, I mean, of course, you look at even with another person probably stepped away too early, Jim Brown. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I mean, we went around to really kind of see his impact, but most of the stuff we hearing about is, the activist type side of him. And I don't know if that's the reason why he stepped away from football to pursue that and look at it from that perspective. Who else was there? Kareem, even though he went on and played 19 years, but to a degree, the media kind of blackballed him from like really talking to him like this, and by him being one of the greatest of all times, it's almost like you almost forget about him. So I don't know. I mean, it's tough, man. Another name we probably didn't bring up is Maud. Yeah. So,
AKA Chris Jackson. They definitely blackballed that guy.
Yeah,
straight hoop.
But I mean, the walk away from it by being a face, I don't. Would he have lost anything if he was Mahomes? I don't know. I don't think so.
I think it's harder to do that because I think the biggest thing in Cap's situation was he was expendable, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if you are. So they was always putting the Chiefs as a dynasty, and we know that's how hard that is to do. But he's so relevant in the game. He's young. He's one of the best quarterbacks. He's all over commercials and stuff, State Farm and everywhere else. And so that makes money for the Shield. So if you're making money for the Shield, you got a prominent player on a great team. They throwing the word dynasty around. It's hard to blackball that guy. You know what I mean? It's hard to push him out the league for the taking the process. Now I'm sure it's gonna be a bunch of backroom meetings and him in the NFL offices. Hey man, can you cut out the blah blah blah, so on and so forth. But could they have blackballed him like Cap? I don't think so. No. I just think he would have been too important to the league for them to get away with it. Whereas Cap was, I don't want to say tailing. I don't want to be disrespectful. I just know
convenient.
It was convenient with the injuries and stuff he had going on. The 49ers wasn't in no real contention for nothing at the time. It just seemed like the perfect storm to be able to blackball him from it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I think even with this guy, Khari, I think it might be, I don't want to say convenient again because I respect him and his conviction, but I haven't really got into the. I'm not top tier, and I'm not leaving as much as I could. It's a rookie deal. I'm still young. Potentially, if I wanted to, I might be able to come back. I'm not hurting any feelings. I'm not letting the whole squad down. Like, I'm a good player, but I'm not the player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, because it changes it. I don't know. It's really an interesting topic because I've never been faced with that.
Yeah.
The closest I've come to that would have been some, like I said, some racial stuff that I just stood against when it come to work, but never nothing involving my faith.
Yeah.
So,
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
good.
Because, I mean, you look at LeBron. If LeBron was to take that same stance.
oh no, it's no problem.
It's literally, all right, what else can I understand you want to walk away.
Bro.
But can we have church right before the game?
He's-
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I
He's
think
the
that
reason
really.
the NBA allows as much player protesting as they do.
Yeah.
He's literally the reason. With the Trayvon Martin,
Yeah.
like he's the reason the league was like, yo, we gotta let him do it. Like this guy, the face of the league, wants to do it. We don't have no choice. Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Like they had to. So that's to another point of sometimes you need the Muhammad Ali's. You need the the names that essentially, because if we're being real when it comes to anything like that, money talks.
Yeah.
It's about their bottom line ultimately. So you have to have somebody in that place, in that position that affects it for it to be able to get those points across. If LeBron doesn't do it, if it was, I don't know, if it was Avery Johnson, nobody would care. You know what I
My
mean?
bad. I just heard his voice in my head.
You know, game of basketball, like if he was doing it, it'd be like, okay, Avery, I feel you, but we just ain't gonna pick you up this year. We're gonna let you ride till you figure this thing out. But LeBron doing it, we gotta stop. You know what I mean? That's big. It was a lot of noise back in the day about Jordan with certain things he wouldn't comment on and wouldn't say anything against. But if he had, that'd have been no real repercussions. Like he's the face of the league. He's the best player. Like, what are you gonna do to him? Like you ruin your bottom line as opposed to what Cap doing was ruining their bottom line.
Yeah.
Not the fact that he was so valuable, getting rid of him would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm with that. I like it.
Yeah.
I like that.
So let me ask y'all this before we wrap this up. Has there been anything personally in your life where you had and let's broaden it out, because for me to be able to throw in someone, like they got to be a moral thing. I can share the race thing, but where your faith was like it was a decision between your faith or your conscience and what you believe in being challenged, and but if you walk away, you potentially lose. You lose money.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, for me, it's never been a faith thing, but I was currently where I'm employed now. We were doing a fence job outside. And this white lady came up, man, and she was on one, like, out the gate.
Yeah.
And so she gets out the car, and she's, you parked on my property and blah, blah, blah. It's one of them things where, it's like we're working on the neighbor's company's fence.
Yeah.
But I'm parked technically on, I don't know who property I'm on. I'm right there. And so it was no problem, but she came up really aggressive, definitely rude. And so I was like, man, I'll move it when she come back out, and hopefully she's a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
So she was like, I told you to move this car. I'm about to call the police. So I just started yelling. She's yelling at me, profanities and stuff. I just started saying, relax. That's all I could think of in the moment, to not call out her name or be anything. I just started saying, relax, bro. Relax. And so I moved the vehicle. Long story short, my boss is called, the police is called, this whole thing. And so I tell my boss my end of it. I'm like, hey, look, man, I ain't do nothing to the lady. I didn't know I was parked on her property. I moved the vehicle. Not a big deal. I don't know what the big deal, other than me being black, I don't know what the deal was. And so I told her, I said, hey, look, I hope you don't, at that time we was kind of slow. I said, I hope you don't get work from her because I'm not coming.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we got to do, right now, I said, hey, I'm not telling you not to pursue work from her.
Yeah.
I'm not coming because I'm not going to work for somebody like that. And ultimately, if she pays you, you're paying me. It came from her. I don't want it.
Yeah.
It's not worth that to me. And so he wound up getting work with the same gentleman we did the work for initially. But because they're neighbors where it was, she split costs with him. So he called me. I thought he was joking. Like, hey, man, we're going back out there where where your friend at. I said, all right. Well, y'all, let me know. Is there anything else I can do, or I just be off those days?
Yeah.
He's like, are you serious? That's a heart attack. I was serious when I told you, bro. I'm not going back out there.
Yeah.
But it's not just him. It's not just her. They both doing it. I said, does she have anything to do with it? Well, yeah, she's paying half of it. Well, good day. Good day, sir. I'm not coming. And, you know, and that's my livelihood. That's I take care of my wife and my kids based off of that. And so I do understand, I respect it. It wasn't my faith. I believe I could do it. But that's on a much smaller scale too. But it is my 9 to 5, so it takes care of my family. So I definitely respect Khari for doing it, and even Cap if he was willingly walking into it that way. But that would be my example. I don't know, like I said, if you guys have anyone y'all want to share as where you was tested in that same type of way.
Man, yeah. Shoot, I just feel, I guess blessed that I hadn't really been tested like that, But, of course, I've dealt with, just racial discrimination.
Right, absolutely.
Shoot, even like this one job I was working, this was like when I was young. I was working at this grocery store, and a friend of mine who got the job for me, like I came into work one day, like me and my cousin, and then the friend that got me the job, she came outside and she was crying. And so she's like, oh man, they just let me go. They just let me go. And so they had like accused her of like stealing, And so she hadn't stolen anything, but, she felt like it was like, racial discrimination. Right. And so I don't know if this was a faith decision, but it was like a Monte decision.
Yeah.
So like, just being, I guess, committed to that friendship and just being loyal.
Right.
So out of loyalty, I end up like chucking the deuces with him.
Right.
And so we end up like quitting. But like before we left, we made a point to let him know.
Yeah.
Don't mess with our people. I can't say nothing too much.
Right.
Might be some open cases.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Pending.
Allegedly.
You gotta leave it allegedly.
But, that was a Monte. That one.
Right. That
wasn't God. That was,
right. Loyal to the cause.
Right.
I had one similar, man. Not as serious, of course, as all the bigger ones, but I was at the Art Institute, and so we had to write this paper about the hero and the villain. You know what I'm saying? Just pick a hero and the villain. So I wanted to be creative, doing it different than anybody in the class would do it. So I said, man, I'm gonna tell a story about Jesus and the Pharisees.
Uh-oh.
So I wrote the story out, put my spin on it, and the teacher says, well, you can't do that. I said, why? I said, the assignment is a hero. And she said, no, you can't bring your faith or what you believe to the table. And I said, you don't believe him anyway. He's a made-up character in your mind.
Okay.
Just let it be a made-up character.
Right.
But I'm sticking to the paper. That lady told me to my face, if you submit it, I'm telling you right now, you're going to get an F.
Dang.
I'm telling you now. So I'm gonna advise you to go ahead and rewrite it, because if you submit it, I'm telling you, I'm gonna give you an F. But I met every criteria. The story, everything met the criteria. I even let a couple of people read it, and they was like, "Oh man, that's dope." You know what I'm saying? But to her, that lady would not give me a pass. So the tougher part, what I had to kind of do, I ended up having to write another story. But later on, because that started a riff with a whole bunch of other stuff with me and her, I watched how God kind of dealt with the situation to a degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people got let go and stuff like that. I ain't gonna say necessarily strictly behind this one, but when it started getting up the chain, like when I started having to be able to talk to the dean and having these conversations, like, y'all do realize, if I was gay, y'all have a whole different outlook on this.
Right.
But because I decided to go this route with my faith, now all of a sudden y'all want to tell me to hush. But if I was any other type of faith, you would back me up on it. So it had to bring that back to the reality. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So But it ended up working out. I graduated from that, so.
That's all that matters.
Come on, Art Institute.
And they trashed.
The opinions and comments of Jarvis Jones is not a reflection.
There goes that endorsement.
Right.
That's fun.
Right. So at the end of every episode, man, we're gonna do what we call They Still Got It. And it's just a segment of the show at the end of the show where we basically shine a light on somebody that is maybe beyond their prime or below the radar, so to speak, that is still kind of doing their thing. You know what I mean? Based on that's where this premise of the podcast started with I Still Got It. So today's They Still Got It recipient is going to be Sue Bird. Sue Bird announced earlier that this is going to be her final season in the WNBA. And so she is a elder statesman, to say the least, in the league, but she's arguably the female GOAT. Her accomplishments are plethora. She's a couple-time NCAA champion, 4-time WNBA champion, and just FIBA World Cup. She's done just everything you can think of in the game of basketball on the women's side. I know for me, I used to follow, especially the women's college basketball, and her at UConn. Good grief,
Yeah.
Man, now that's a dynasty for sure. She was on the team with Diana Taurasi, who other people, that's another arguable GOAT of their game. And so we just want to give a shout out to Sue Bird, and she is this week's They Still Got It.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
They still got it.
Yes, sir. I like it.
That's a good one.
Shout out to Sue Bird.
Shout out to
Come on the podcast when you get there.
We'd love to have you on
You
here,
got
Sue.
time.
Yeah.
Especially after the season. You got nothing else going. So that wraps up, man, episode 1, man. So glad we appreciate y'all joining us. Please follow us on TikTok, on our Instagram, man. I Still Got It. You'll see it listed below. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please comment, share, subscribe, and we out.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.